The notification pinged at 3:03 a.m. sharp. I remember the exact time because it pulled me out of a dream I wasn't supposed to wake from. My phone lit up on the nightstand, the screen pulsing with a soft blue glow like it was breathing. I reached for it, eyes squinting against the light. Just one line appeared. SoulPath is now active. Welcome back, Jonah. Welcome back? I didn't recall ever downloading an app called SoulPath, much less opening an account. But there it was, sitting among my icons like it had always belonged. At first glance, it looked like any map app. Roads, locations, a blinking dot marking where I stood. But the streets were unfamiliar. Not wrong exactly, just off. The names were old-fashioned. Ash Hollow Lane, Widow's Rest Parkway, Chapel of Bone. My fingers hesitated over the screen, a chill prickling up my arm. Curiosity overruled fear. I tapped the blinking dot. Instantly, the map zoomed outward and plotted a route in crimson red. The destination? Final resting place. Estimated arrival, 3:33 a.m. I laughed nervously, brushing off the coincidence. Must be some elaborate prank. Maybe someone hacked my phone or made a creepy viral app. Still, something about that timer ticking down made my stomach twist. I tried to delete the app. No option. I tried restarting the phone. Still there. Then I noticed the temperature. My room was freezing cold. I checked the thermostat, 72 degrees, yet I could see my breath curling in the air. When I looked back at the screen, the app had changed. My destination was now marked by a tombstone icon. Underneath it, in tiny pale letters, was my name, Jonah Reyes, 1993 to 2025. I stopped breathing. I blinked, rubbed my eyes. It didn't go away. I whispered my own name aloud like I was trying to remember it, trying to make it real again. My heart pounded louder than the wind rattling against the window. I should have tossed the phone out the window, should have thrown it in the sink, but instead, like some part of me wanted to know what waited, I clicked the icon. The map redrew itself instantly, tracing a winding path through darkened streets and overgrown alleyways I'd never seen before. And then, without touching anything, my phone speaker whispered, "Begin your journey." The doorbell rang. Once, sharp, final. I live alone. I moved through the apartment slowly, each step echoing too loud against the silence. The hallway seemed longer than usual, the air dense like it was pushing against me. When I opened the door, no one stood there, but parked in the street below was a black town car, engine running, windows dark. My phone buzzed again. "New notification, driver en route. Please proceed to the vehicle." I laughed again, but it sounded hollow, fake. Something about this didn't feel digital anymore. This wasn't a prank. It wasn't even tech. It felt older, like the app was just a costume something ancient was wearing. I stood frozen in the doorway for what felt like minutes. Then the car honked once, soft and long, like it was patient but wouldn't wait forever. So I grabbed a coat, slipped on shoes, and descended the stairs like I was sleepwalking into my own funeral. The driver didn't speak when I got in. He didn't look at me either. His face was hidden behind a reflective partition, and his hands, long and thin, gripped the wheel like they'd been dead for years. My phone was already showing the route again, but this time, the roads outside actually matched. We were following the map perfectly. We passed through neighborhoods I didn't know existed. All the lights were off, no people, no sound. Just row after row of hollow houses and swaying trees that seemed to lean in toward the car like they were listening. I checked the time, 3:25 a.m., 8 minutes until arrival. Then the landscape changed. The buildings thinned out, replaced by woods and jagged stone walls. Somewhere far off, a church bell rang once, deep and lonely. I asked the driver where we were going. No reply. I checked the map again. The screen now showed a swirling icon ahead, the crossing. My mouth went dry. "What is this?" I muttered. The car stopped without warning, brakes squealing softly. The engine cut. Outside, an old iron gate loomed, rusted and half swallowed by weeds. A broken sign swung on one chain, Whisper Hill Cemetery. Below that, hand-carved into the wood, was another phrase in shaky letters, "Don't arrive early." The car door opened on its own. My phone buzzed again. One final time. "This is your stop." I stepped out into the cold. The night air felt wrong. Not just cold like winter, but cold like absence, like even time had frozen here. The wind didn't blow. Crickets didn't chirp. It was the kind of silence that made your ears ring. The gate ahead was open now, just enough to squeeze through, and the path beyond it twisted into a forest so dark I couldn't see where it ended. I should have turned around, demanded the driver take me back. But when I glanced over my shoulder, the town car was gone. No sound, no lights, no tracks, just a patch of empty dirt where it had waited. The phone guided me forward. The red path on the screen pulsed with every step I took. As I walked deeper into Whisper Hill Cemetery, the tombstones around me began to change. They weren't just old, they were recent, too recent. I recognized names, friends, coworkers, people I hadn't thought about in years. Some had already passed, but others were still alive, weren't they? I spotted one stone leaning against a willow tree. Freshly dug earth sat at its base. My own name was carved into the granite. The date of death was today. No time listed, just a blank line with a blinking cursor. It looked like it was waiting for input. My phone buzzed again. A pop-up message this time, death arrival in 5 minutes. Panic hit me all at once. I dropped the phone, heart hammering like it wanted to escape my chest. I wasn't sick. I wasn't dying. What kind of sick app was this? I snatched the phone up and tried everything, closing it, deleting it, restarting. Nothing worked. The countdown continued. Relentless. 4:59, 4:58. 4:57. I turned and started running. No path, no direction, just away. Trees whipped past me. My breath burned in my lungs, but the cemetery was endless. It wrapped around me like a maze, and no matter how far I went, the tombstones followed. One after another, they blinked into view. All of them had names. All of them had faces. Yes, faces. Photos etched into stone. Only the eyes weren't still. They moved. They watched. Some even smiled. I stumbled over a root and fell, scraping my hands. The phone clattered beside me and the screen changed again. No map now, just one word in the center, pulsing like a heartbeat, confirm. Below it, 2 options, accept or deny. I hovered over deny, but it was grayed out, unclickable. The only thing I could press was accept. My fingers trembled. Then I heard it, soft footsteps on gravel, too light to be an animal, too smooth to be a person. I slowly turned my head, and my heart nearly stopped. There, standing by a crooked angel statue, was someone who looked just like me. Same height, same build, same jacket. But the face, it was wrong. Pale, hollow, eyes fully black as if they were filled with ink. Its mouth curved into a slow smile and I saw its lips move. No sound came out, but I could read them clear as day. Time's up. I ran again, this time toward a light flickering in the distance. A chapel, maybe? I didn't care. Anything but this graveyard of the damned. The doors were already open. Candles lined the floor, their flames perfectly still. No breeze, no flicker, just pure silence. At the center of the chapel stood a mirror, old, cracked, covered in handprints. My reflection didn't follow me as I approached. It just stood there, watching, smiling. And beside it, glowing bright and cold, was a pedestal holding a stone tablet. It looked like a touchscreen, but ancient, stone instead of glass. On it was my life. My name, age, birth date, all correct. Below that, memories appeared like a photoreel, one after another. Birthdays, funerals, the time I broke my arm in 2nd grade, the first girl I kissed, the last time I saw my mom before she died. I wasn't in a chapel. I was in something else. A checkpoint, a gateway, a judge's chamber. A final screen appeared. Do you accept your ending? Below it, yes, no. I didn't press anything. From behind me came a scraping sound, like fingers against wood. I turned slowly. The other me was inside now. It stood at the back of the chapel, staring, its head tilted just slightly to the side like it was curious. I took a step backward. It mirrored me. Another step. It copied again. Then it opened its mouth, and this time I heard it speak. My voice, but layered, broken, echoing. You left your body behind. You walked too far. The moment you opened the map, your time was already spent. I screamed. I didn't know what else to do. I screamed and pressed no. The chapel shattered around me. The candles went out. The screen went black. And then, nothing. For a moment, I thought I died, that this was it. But when I opened my eyes, I was lying on my bed. It was morning. The sun peeked through the blinds like nothing had ever happened. My phone was back on the nightstand. No strange apps, no messages. Maybe it had all been a nightmare. A vivid, terrifying nightmare. I laughed shakily and went to grab my phone just to check the time. And that's when it buzzed. Soft, familiar, cold. Final resting place. Route recalculating. I stared at the message on my phone. Final resting place. Route recalculating. Trying to laugh it off, but the sound caught in my throat. The screen dimmed, then flashed back to the same cursed map I thought I had escaped. The glowing red path twisted once more, now pointing through my apartment. My front door blinked like a destination marker. This couldn't be real. But the silence was back. That unnatural stillness from the graveyard. No birds, no traffic outside. Even the ticking clock on the wall had stopped. I stood frozen in my room, watching the screen while the app recalculated over and over, as if it didn't know where I was anymore. Or maybe it didn't know what I was. Then the phone spoke again, only this time it used my voice. You rejected your end. The soul remains, but the body is already gone. I threw the phone. It smashed against the wall and shattered, but the voice didn't stop. It echoed from the cracks in the mirror, the air vents, the dark space under my bed. Where do the lost go when they don't let go? The voice whispered. I bolted for the front door. I had to get out. But when I flung it open, the hallway was gone, replaced by the cemetery again. The same crooked tombstones, the same trees, the same endless rows of names. But now, every single grave had my name carved onto it. Slightly different versions, my middle name spelled differently, my birthday off by a day. Some even showed future dates. One grave read March 13th, 2047, cause of death, fire. Another, November 2029, cause of death, sleep paralysis. Hundreds of deaths, all me, all waiting. I stepped back, slamming the door shut, but my apartment no longer felt like home. It warped, the walls stretching and tilting like I was inside some funhouse dream. Except there was no laughter, only that voice, now multiplying, layering itself over and over in whispering echoes. The app doesn't predict, it remembers. My phone, though broken, pulsed faintly from the corner. Against every instinct in my body, I picked it up. The map showed a new location now, just one final pin, marked with a skull icon. Underneath it were two words, last chance. I followed. It wasn't a walk this time. The world folded around me. Doors led to forests. Elevators opened to rain-soaked graveyards. One stairwell turned into a spiral that led directly into pitch-black water. I crossed memories. Literal memories. I saw my 6th birthday party playing out in one room, complete with plastic balloons and my dad's laugh. Another hallway led me through my old high school locker room, then into the hospital where Mom died. Each place glitched and faded behind me as I passed through, as if my past was being erased step by step. Eventually, I found myself standing in a round, empty room. A single chair waited in the center. Next to it, a screen. The app opened one last time, now full screen across the wall. It played back my life like a movie trailer, but not the highs, not the wins, the birthdays, the love. It showed every failure, every lie, every cruel thing I'd said and pretended not to remember. Every moment I thought no one saw, every quiet sin. Then came the prompt, do you accept responsibility for your death? It didn't feel like a choice anymore. I couldn't say no again. I couldn't run. All the exits were gone. I sat in the chair and whispered, yes. The screen went black. A line of text scrolled slowly across it. You are now in transit, processing soul. And then came the strangest sensation. Not pain, not fear, just weightlessness. Like I was unraveling from inside. I wasn't dying. I had already done that. This was different. I was leaving. The room faded into a white void. No walls, no ceiling, just space. I don't know how long I was there. Time doesn't mean much when your heart isn't beating. Eventually, a soft tone rang out. Not a notification chime. Something older, deeper, like a bell tolling beneath the ocean. A voice, softer than anything I'd heard before, spoke, transit complete, reassignment pending. And then darkness. I woke up gasping. Not in my apartment, not in the chapel, somewhere else entirely. A hospital room. Machines beeped. A nurse screamed. A defibrillator buzzed. I heard them yelling, he's back! We got him back! I had flatlined, they said. For 3 minutes. They couldn't explain why I woke up with no damage, no brain loss, nothing. But I remembered everything. They thought I was lucky, a miracle. But I knew better, because even now, days later, the app won't leave my phone. I delete it. It returns. I change phones. It appears again. Sometimes at night, I catch a glimpse of the map flickering on its own. And worse, when I look in the mirror, sometimes I don't blink when I do, because I think part of me never came back. And somewhere deep in the afterlife's twisted map, I'm still in transit. And one day, when my time runs out again, I don't think the app will offer a second chance. Not again. Never again.